I just would like to know how long have you been practicing Buddhist meditation?
I've been involved in meditation for about 2 to 3 years now, I would say.
2 to 3 years. So based on your experience, what do you think the advantages of meditating?
I think the key advantage is clarity of mind. I think that's an important state of mind you can take with you during the day. So I would say that's the key advantage, clarity of mind, being able to be in the moment. Yeah.
So how the clarity of mind can be helpful for your daily work?
Oh, when your mind is less cluttered, you work more efficiently by using less energy because you're focused on what is most important at the moment and not so much all other unnecessary chatter that your mind goes through.
Okay, and then do you know that there are some precautions that need to be taken during meditation? So what are the precautions that you think and advise to the meditator during meditation?
I think the most significant precaution for me is you need to be in tune with what your body and what your mind can handle or can deal with. So meditation makes more sense if you're willing to listen to what your body, what your mind is saying. So being aware of what's going on inside rather than just doing it for the sake of doing it.
So may I know what tradition of Buddhist meditation are you practicing? Is it Zen, Chinese meditation, Tibetan meditation, or Theravada, Sri Lankan, Theravada Thai? Based on your practice so far in these 2 years.
My interest is in the Tibetan tradition, yeah.
Tibetan. It's quite surprising. I interviewed a certain Tibetan tradition compared to last time.
Well, it's coming very popular in the West. Because there's a lot of books written by His Holiness the Dalai Lama.
Yeah. Quite surprising when I went through the website, there are a lot of Tibetan research program. In fact, my research idea is coming from Tibetan. Santa Barbara Institute from California.
Okay. Well, because the Tibetan tradition has taken up in such a big way in the West because of what's been happening in Tibet over the last 50 or so years. So I think that's one of the reasons why there's such an interest in Buddhism, particularly in the West today.
So based on your knowledge, do you know the origin of meditation? Where is the meditation coming from? Since when humans know how to meditate?
I don't know the exact answer.
Yeah, that's okay. Because I asked the meditation teacher, they say they are happy me to find it also.
The Buddha didn't invent meditation. I think it was something that was around when he was alive. So I don't know the answer to that.
In fact, Taoist in China and Hindu has been meditated for a long time. Yeah. So how do you recommend the best way to meditate? So do you know if somebody asks you about meditate, so what is meditation? So how are you going to describe to him? How are you going to meditate?
Well, for me, what helps personally is to have some sort of place and time where you decide to sit down and meditate. But having said that, you can meditate anywhere, whatever circumstance you're in, and that's a wonderful thing about meditation because at the most basic, it's about bringing your awareness to bringing awareness of your breathing. And we carry our breath with us as long as we're alive, so potentially that means you can meditate in any situation. My advice on how to meditate is just do it, sort of as and when you think is necessary, as and when you think is necessary, or as and when you think you would like to, because it helps. Any meditation helps, I think.
So how long do you meditate per day, approximately?
About under an hour, maybe, but spread out during the day.
So do you think that the food and the weather and the environment might affect the meditation? How about food, do you think? Some people say that food has no influence. Some meditation teachers say food has influence.
Well, I'm personally a more strict vegetarian. I like to eat vegetarian food, but I'm not remaining restricted on my diet. As for environment, well, initially it helps to have a quiet environment, but I think once you get right into it, it's not very, you can meditate even in a bit of busy street view in the zone, so to speak. It's only when you start to quieten the mind, I think a quiet environment helps. By no means, it's by no means necessary.
So, in Melbourne Municipal Buddhist Society, how frequent is the meditation activity organized?
Well, the Buddhist Society has got 2 meditation sessions a week and 1 Buddhist Dharma session. So that's on a fortnightly basis. So the meditation class is weekly and the discussion group is on a fortnightly basis. So fairly regularly, but people come together and do a group practice.
Okay. So, based on your experience, how when people, I know a few problems that exist during meditation, especially the painfulness, and then how are painfulness being tackled? Do you think that painfulness will make people away from learning Buddhist meditation?
From my personal experience, pain has never been a big issue. I think if you've got comfortable enough, or maybe if you've got leg or back problems, which fortunately for now I haven't got, but I think pain needs to be dealt with appropriately. Sort of if people are going through a lot of pain, that's obviously not going to help their mind. If their body can't be relaxed, there's no way the mind's going to quieten down, and it'll be harder to meditate. So I think that needs to be taken into account as well. So it may mean just sitting on a chair as opposed to sitting on the floor while they sit down and meditate.
But some meditators complain that if you want to clarify our mind, when the pain comes, then meditation will not be helpful because it will add to the painfulness. And then how to talk about these questions? They say meditation will increase the painfulness and increase trouble rather than clarify the mind.
I would suggest that if
they get nothing finally, when they clarify nothing, they can't see anything. They get nothing, empty. So how are you going to explain to them?
I would suggest that when people meditate in pain, not so much that the pain increases, but it's their awareness of the pain that increases. And maybe that's not a good thing for meditation. I mean, it depends on the situation. Maybe it's a terrible pain. What the best thing to do is stop and go and look at, take a Panadol or something. But it's hard to generalize. I haven't been in a situation where I have had to stop or to really do something about it. More often than not, for me, speaking from my own personal experience, it's a situation where my mind is telling me, okay, this is enough, this is painful, let's move on. And that's the sort of thing where I need to step back and say, hang on a minute, this is, I'm exaggerating the pain here. I need to sit and be aware of what's actually happening rather than just sort of going along with this and that the storyline that the mind likes to keep up.
So let's say if we are a committee of the Buddhist Society for Melbourne University, so how are you going to recommend the Buddhist meditation to those multi-faith groups, for example, non-Buddhist? So how are you going to tell them introduce Buddhist meditation to them if they are afraid of being converted to Buddhist?
Well, the first thing I would say is Buddha was never really interested in converting anybody. Meditation is not something that's exclusively Buddhist. I think in all spiritual traditions in the world, there's some form of meditation, contemplation, reflection. I mean, that's common to the human experience. So if I were to approach a multi-faith group, I would sort of explain the very, very basic Buddhist meditation efforts, more about your awareness and all that. You don't have to be Buddhist to do that. You don't need to be. It's human. And above and on top of that, people can bring their own spiritual insights and their own spiritual experience.
So do you agree that Buddhist meditation will make somebody passive? Because a lot of activities Buddhist society that handle the Buddhist meditation will seem like more passive than the fellow religious group, for example, Christian, that used to dance, to sing, but meditate is quite calm, and then it accordingly will make people feel very passive, drowsy, pain, and then something that not desired by the active Unity student group.
Well, I think if meditation makes someone feel passive and drowsy,
Yeah.
I think they're not doing it right because that's not the purpose of meditation. It's supposed to be about making you aware about what's going on in your mind and using that to relate to the things that are around you. So no, I don't think that's really founded in my experience. I don't know about others, but I think meditation makes you aware. Awareness doesn't necessarily equate to being passive. It just makes you reflective. I think that's a more appropriate word, right? People around you, interactions and that sort of thing.
So based on your experience in meditation, how do you think that meditation will be helpful for the mental health? Increase the mental health, tackle the problem when you are angry. So will it be helpful for you to control the anger, and how it will be helpful? So means when you are angry, how are you going to meditate? Because sometimes people say it is very difficult to control.
I agree that once anger sort of starts, once anger flares up, it's very, very difficult. This can be for any emotion, whether it's attachment, anger, jealousy, these sort of excessive desire. Once it gets up to very big stage then when it's just first starting out. And what meditation helps, I feel, is it helps you to recognize when it's still at a small seat and when it's still controllable and manageable, when you can say, oh, I'm starting to get angry. For me, if I didn't meditate, I think I would only really start to notice there was a problem when I got really angry and started, yelling or throwing things around. But I feel that meditation helps you to be aware, even though you're not in a meditative state. When you start getting angry, you can sort of say, oh, hang on a minute, that was strange. You sort of notice it in your mind because you've got awareness. But if you don't have that awareness, you'll only start to notice it when things get really ugly, and it's then maybe a bit too late to control it.
Okay, so the interview will stop at 2:15 p.m. on 8th of October in Melbourne University. Thank you, Mr. Justin. Surname is
Sethu.
S-A-Y
S-E-T-H-U.
S-E-A-T-H-U.
S-E-T-H.